Hello, everybody. I don't know if it came back this time or not.
I don't even know if that stereo can remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so for everybody that managed to find us again, I apologize about that. Something went awry with the software, and I had to start the stream over.
That's what I've had since at least 2000. Because I remember Grandma got it.
I could start this story over. Leaked Pentagon document: most sniffle deaths, hospitalizations, are vaxxed individuals. A leaked document approved by the Department of Defense affirmed what many have speculated, that the sniffle shots have caused more hospitalizations than the sniffles itself. In 2020, the MAGA Institute reported. The left, for many months, has promulgated the lie that unshotted citizens are causing the sniffles to continue its devastating global rampage. Now it turns out that the opposite might be true. According to the document, certified with a stamp from the Department of Defense, shotted individuals have caused the majority of hospitalizations since the release of the shot to the public. It's the shotted who have been harmed the most by these experimental jabs, wrote the MAGA Institute. This document verifies that it is indeed what's been happening. Making matters worse, serious epidemiologists warned over a year ago that producing a shot in the midst of a pandemic leads to mutations and creation of more variants. This revelation further reveals the fraudulence behind the Biden administration's to push shot mandates, which has already had drastic effects on American life. The mandate in question requires all federal employees and government contractors to get the shot. It also requires all businesses with greater than 100 employees to require shots or test employees weekly, often on the employee's dime, among other regulations released by the Biden administration. Biden already faces lawsuits over the requirement, and more than 24 Republican governors have made clear their opposition to this mandate. Biden's mandates are also incredibly unpopular. His support among key constituencies has radically dropped, and most Americans agree that non-shotters should be permitted to continue their jobs. The unpopularity of the mandate, not to mention its unconstitutionality, is likely to spike even higher now that it appears that these shots are the likelihood of hospitalization. Hey, Gerald, thanks for coming back, dude. You can always
Yeah,
count
thanks,
on you.
Gerald. Gerald's an OG.
He knows how this works.
Not very well, that's all.
All right. Judge set to hear Biden admin challenge to the Texas heartbeat law. A federal judge on Friday will consider whether Texas can leave a law that bans most abortions and sent pro-abortion leftists into a tizzy since being passed last month. A lawsuit filed by the Biden administration seeks to land the first legal blow against the Texas law known as Senate Bill 8, which thus far withstood an early wave of challenges, including the U.S. Supreme Court allowing it to remain in force. Abortion care is almost completely stopped in our state, said Gisela Medoya, a Texas abortion provider, during a House Oversight and Reform Committee hearing on Thursday. The law, signed by Republican Governor Greg Abbott in May, prohibits abortions in Texas once a cardiac activity is detected, usually around 6 weeks, which is before some women know they are pregnant. In the short time since the law took effect, September 1st, abortion providers complained before the Democrat-led committee. It's exactly what they feared has become a reality. Texas clinics are now in danger of closing while neighborhood states struggle to keep up with a surge of patients now driving hundreds of miles from Texas, they claimed. Other women said they were forced to carry their pregnancies to term. The U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman of Austin will hear arguments on Friday over whether to temporarily halt the Texas law, which stands as the nation's biggest curb to the constitutional right to an abortion in half a century. The Justice Department has pushed for the court to act swiftly, but it is unclear how soon Pittman will decide. It's also unclear how quickly, if any, of Texas's nearly 24 abortion clinics would move to resume normal operations if the law is set aside. Texas officials would likely seek a swift reversal from the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which previously allowed the restrictions to take effect. The Texas law is just one that is setting up the biggest test of abortion law in the U.S. in decades. On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court begins a new term, which in December will include arguments in Mississippi's bid to have the controversial Roe v. Wade decision guaranteeing a woman's right to an abortion overturned. Last month, the court did not rule on the constitutionality of Texas's law and allowing it to remain in place, but abortion providers took that 5-4 vote as an ominous sign about where the court might be heading on abortion. Other states, mostly in the South, have passed similar laws that ban abortion within the early weeks of pregnancy, all of which judges have blocked. But a wrinkle to Texas's version has so far outmaneuvered courts. Enforcement is left to private citizens, not prosecutors. Under the Texas law, anyone can file a lawsuit not only against abortion providers, but persons suspected of even helping a woman get an abortion after cardiac activity is detected. The person bringing the lawsuit is entitled to at least $10,000 in damages if they prevail. The Texas Attorney General's office argued in court filings this week that even if the law were put on hold temporarily, providers could still face the threat of litigation over violations that might occur in the time between a permanent ruling. The federal government's complaint is that the Heartbeat Act is difficult to effectively enjoin, with the state wrote an objection to the lawsuit to the Biden administration, but there is no requirement that the state write its laws to make them easily enjoined. At least one Texas abortion provider has admitted to violating the law and has been sued, but not by many abortion opponents. Former attorneys in Illinois and Arkansas say that they instead sued a San Antonio doctor in hopes of getting a judge who would invalidate the law. So they're just trying to sue him to get the law invalidated. My goodness. Terry Mcauliffe accepted $350,000 donation from sketchy British national. This is effectively a really easy way to launder foreign money into the U.S. political process and avoid the FEC prohibition on foreign nationals. Virginia gubernatorial candidate Terry Mcauliffe may have violated federal law when he accepted $350,000 in donations from a scandal-ridden telecom company whose owner is a British national, the Washington Free Beacon reported. Mcauliffe, a Democrat who governed Virginia from 2014 to 2018, accepted the donation from Lycatel, which sells discounted prepaid calling cards. The company's owner, Arijah Subasakaran, is a Sri Lankan-born British citizen. Subasakaran owns Lycatel outright because his firm, London-based WWW Holding Company, Ltd., holds 99% of its shares. It's an August Federal Communications Commission filing. Subasakaran called himself a natural person and citizen of the United Kingdom. Under federal law, American political candidates cannot accept donations from foreign citizens or companies owned by them. Candidates can, however, accept donations from American-based foreign subsidiaries as long as foreign leadership does not direct the contribution. This effectively is a really easy way to launder foreign money into the U.S. political process and avoid the FEC prohibition on foreign nationals making contributions in U.S. elections, said Ben Freeman, director of Foreign Influence Transparency Initiative in the Center for International Policy. Lycatel is one company in Subasakarian Leica Network, a collection of global companies in technology, media, and gaming industries. The Leica Network's accounting firm, KPMG, acknowledged that its numerous offshore companies have created such a complex nature of the related party structure that it could not locate $134 million on its balance sheet. American, British, and French authorities have all investigated Lycatel or Leica Mobile or related companies for tax fraud and money laundering. In 2016, French authorities in Paris arrested 19 people suspected of being involved in a money laundering system implicating Leica Mobile and Leica Mobile services, the Daily Mail reported. Freeman and Mcauliffe should not have accepted the money. $350,000 to Terry Mcauliffe, that's a huge sum of money, even by campaign finance standards, he said. If I was part of that campaign or if I was in any way connected to that, I'm not going to accept that money because I don't want even the semblance that we might have foreign influence in my campaign. If I was them, I'd give the money back. However, Mcauliffe has a long history of similarly unethical transactions, beginning with his days as Clinton campaign bundler and aide. He was the architect of the suspicious Chinagate deal that allegedly swapped U.S. nuclear secrets for campaign cash. Additional ties between Mcauliffe and foreign investigators came to light stemming from his time as chairman of the Democratic National Committee and during his first gubernatorial run in 2013. Although Democrats have dominated the once red Virginia of late, tightening polls in McAuliffe's race against Republican Glenn Youngkin may suggest that McAuliffe's personal scandals, along with those of other Virginia Democrats and growing malaise against the Biden administration, may put the Old Dominion in line for a political upset in its gubernatorial election next month. Oh, looks like Gerald's still hanging in there. You hanging in there, Stinger?
Yeah, I'm right here, and I'm listening to every word you're saying. I'm just muting when I'm talking to Kyra.
All right.
Thank you, Gerald, for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, the whole pill thing is something. They're trying to make it so that you can't have a religious exemption
Yeah.
to the vaccine.
And I'm still going to have a religious exemption because I'm not going to take something that's going to mess with my DNA, which that pill clearly does. They admitted it.
All right.
Bipartisan bill seeks to recalibrate presidential power over national security. For decades and decades, presidents of both parties have slowly but surely usurped congressional power on matters of national security. A bipartisan bill introduced in Congress aims to bring back the balance of power with the president, according to the co-authors of the bill, Representatives James P. McGovern, Democrat of Massachusetts, chairman of the House Rules Committee, and Representative Peter Meijer, Republican from Michigan, ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee on Oversight, Management, and Accountability, introduced the National Security Reform and Accountability Act, the NSRAA, on Thursday. And here's the tweet. Representative Meijer and I just introduced sweeping new bipartisan legislation to reassert congressional power over national security and restore the balance of power between the president and Congress. Hashtag NSRAA. We're introducing this bill because for decades and decades, presidents on both parties have slowly but surely usurped congressional power on matters of national security, regardless of who's in the Oval Office or which party is in charge on Capitol Hill. The bill, known as H.R. 5410, aims to reassert congressional power over matters of national security, according to a news release. If approved, the bill would recalibrate the balance of power between the president and Congress by reclaiming congressional oversight of arms sales, emergency declarations, and the use of military force. Congress is the branch of government closest to the people, and it's our duty to make the toughest decisions about when, where, and how to put American troops in harm's way, McGovern said in the release. We need to come together in a bipartisan way to reclaim our rightful role as a co-equal branch of the government before it's too late. And that is what the National Security Reforms and Accountability Act aims to do. Meijer said that allowing presidents to supersede Congress's authority over matters of war and peace is a dereliction of congressional responsibility. According to the release, there are three key components of the bill that addresses war powers, reform, arms export reform, and national emergencies reform. The bill sets rules and procedures to reassert and safeguard congressional prerogatives. Under the bill, the president would have to shorten the 60-day termination clock when it comes to ending hostilities not approved by Congress to 20 days. Plus, funding would automatically be cut off if the president doesn't seek congressional approval for military action. Under arms sales reform, the legislation would require Congress to authorize foreign military sales and direct commercial sales of the most destructive and destabilizing weapons at costs above $14 million for air-to-ground munitions, tanks, and related munitions, and $1 million for arms and ammunition. For national security, the bill requires Congress to approve an emergency declaration and specific emergency powers within 30 days, while powers invoked by the president must be related to and only address the emergency. The president, under the bill, would be mandated to consult congressional leaders and obtain congressional authorization before exercising powers in question. The release reads, additionally, Congress approval would have to meet certain criteria, including automatic sunset. Why not return the power back to the people and limit what the government can do? Take away the Patriot Act. Yeah, that would be great.
Seriously, they're trying to regulate people that buy tanks now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. No, most of those are decommissioned anyway. Like, you couldn't even use the cannon.
And they're also talking about selling arms to foreign purchasers too. Which I do agree that Congress should have to approve if we're going to sell our arms to foreign people. Okay, here we go back with Governor Newsom and his rampage. Newsom orders sniffle vaccines for eligible students, the first K through 12 school mandate in the nation. In the first such action in the nation, Governor Newsom issued a mandate on Friday requiring all eligible public and private school children in California to get shotted against the sniffles, a policy the state expects to affect millions of students. The mandate would take effect for grades 7 through 12 the semester following the USDA's full approval of the shot for children ages 12 and older. According to the governor's office, students in kindergarten through 6th grade would be phased in after the shot is formally approved for younger children. The mandate could take effect for students 12 and older as early as January of 2022 if there's full federal approval of the shot for that age range, the governor said in remarks in a San Francisco school. There's still a struggle to get where we need to be, Newsom said, about the effort to contain the sniffles. That means we need to do more, we need to do better. Currently, only individuals 16 or older are eligible to receive a shot that has a full approval from the FDA. Children as young as 12 have been able to receive the shot under emergency authorization. Once in effect, students will not be allowed to attend classes in person on campus without being shotted, just as with any other required childhood vaccine. Medical and religious exemptions would still be available. Under the governor's order, unshotted students will have the option of enrolling in a fully online school, attending an independent study program offered by school districts, or to be homeschooled. It'll be up to schools and school districts to enforce the mandate, as they do with other required shots, including those for hepatitis B, tetanus, mumps, measles, polio, and chickenpox. The governor said he is simply applying the same standard for the sniffle shot. This is just another shot, Newsom said. The sniffle shot will continue a well-established list that currently includes 10 shots and well-established rules and regulations that have been advanced by legislature for decades. Students 16 and older
10 shots?
Yeah, well, the 10 that we've always gotten before: polio,
Oh,
measles, mumps, rubella, hepatitis, all those, like
and now
the normal
COVID.
one. Yeah, so now there's 11 that they're trying to. It means parents will have to pull the kids out of school and homeschool the kids. Hey, Bikes and Bullets, how you doing? He's asking how the drive was.
It's done. It's done. That's the greatest part of it. It's finally done. It's the first day was raining the whole way. Apparently, some of her stuff did get wet.
Hopefully it's
Luckily,
not
just the
horrible.
stuff. Yeah, well, she wasn't really upset about the stuff that got damaged. But we haven't opened everything yet either.
Mm.
But what's up, Bikes? How you doing?
Shots for children 5 to 11 are not that far off. Pfizer is expected to apply for authorization imminently, citing evidence from trials indicating that the shots are safe and effective for children in that range. The shot should be available for that group under emergency use authorization around Thanksgiving, according to the Associated Press. With Newsom's student shot mandate, California is once again moving faster than any other state on measures to combat sniffles that has taken about 69,000 lives in the state. The Golden State was the first to order a strict lockdown early in the sniffles and enacted a second stay-at-home order in most of the state late last year. Schools remain closed longer than in many other states and longer than many other business sectors in California, leading to some intense criticism of the governor for not making school reopening a higher priority. California became the first state to order all healthcare workers to get the shot. It was also the second state following Hawaii to impose strict shot rules for school staff who must either get the shot or submit to weekly sniffle testing. Other state workers must abide by similar regulations. California has also been out front with other measures, such as mandating masks indoors at all K through 12 campuses, a strategy subsequently endorsed by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In contrast, governors in states such as Florida and Texas forbade mask mandates. And while Newsom faces a legal challenge over requiring masks in school, the script is flipped in other states, including Texas, where Governor Greg Abbott's ban on mask mandates is confronting a legal challenge from parents with support from the U.S. Justice Department. California's shot requirements for healthcare workers allowed for limited exemptions for medical reasons and religious beliefs. Statewide, at least 6 school districts, including the 2 largest, Los Angeles and San Diego, have approved student shot mandates. Already, LA and San Diego have received cease and desist letters, a precursor to a lawsuit. Some parents in LA have asserted various reasons for opposing the mandate. A number of them are factually wrong, according to experts, such as claims that the shot is killing more people than the sniffles or that the shot poses a greater risk to children than the sniffles. Other parents say that that shots are too new for them to be comfortable having their children receive. The shots have been available to everyone ages 12 and up since May. Among all age groups, there have been 226 million administrations of the Pfizer BioNTech shot in the U.S. since December, a mass rollout of shots that has no parallel in U.S. history. In that period, nationwide, 54% of adolescents aged 12 to 15 have received at least one dose, and have 62% of 16 to 17-year-olds. If there was a safety problem with the vaccine for adolescents and teenagers, it would have surfaced by now, many experts say. There were some concerns about myocarditis and inflammation of the heart muscle as a side effect for the Pfizer shot, mostly among young males, but further study revealed that 8.9 million adolescents who had received their Pfizer shot through mid-July, there were fewer than 400 reports of myocarditis, and the symptoms were generally mild, and there was no related reports of death. The most common adverse pediatric events reported were dizziness, headache, and fainting, some of which is likely related to a history of anxiety around needles, according to a report published by the CDC. Fainting is common among adolescents after any shot, said the CDC. Some parents who oppose shot requirements point to the extremely low hospitalization and death rates among children who get infected. According to the CDC, 287 people ages 12 to 17 have died from the sniffles nationwide since the start of the sniffles. In California, according to the Department of Public Health, among ages 5 to 17, there have been 26 sniffle deaths. But failing to vaccinate adolescents and teens will only prolong the pandemic, many experts say. Young people can be sources of transmission back into their own households, putting their family members at risk. Even vaccinated ones, shotted ones, who might contract breakthrough infection, said UCLA epidemiologist Dr. Robert Kim Farley. In Los Angeles County, unshotted adolescents ages 12 to 17 are now the group with the highest sniffle rate in the last month, 19% worse than unshotted younger adults under the age of 50 and 33% worse than unshotted older adults. All right. See anything else interesting in this one? No. More freaking
So I think the
rules.
lesson here is to get your kids homeschooled, huh?
Mm-hmm. And don't live in California.
Yeah. It's class.
Louisiana health system to charge employees with unshotted spouses a monthly premium of $200. Extra. You got to pay extra if you're not shotted for your health insurance. Louisiana's largest health system is ratcheting up pressure to get shotted against the sniffles. Ochsner Health told employees it'll start charging them a monthly premium of $200 if a spouse or domestic partner covered under the Ochsner Health Plan is not shotted. The Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate reports. Ochsner said all employees must be shotted by October 29th in order to keep their jobs. President and CEO Warner Thomas said the surcharge for unvaccinated spouses and partners is part of an effort to keep health premiums low for our employees. As a self-insured organization, Ochsner bears the cost of sniffle treatments for patients who are on its insurance plan. Unshotted people account for a vast majority of the health system's sniffle patients. The reality is the cost of treating sniffles is particularly for patients requiring intensive inpatient care is expensive, and we spent more than $9 million on sniffle care for those who are covered under our health plans over the last year, Thomas said in a statement emailed to the paper. The co-sniffle vaccine fee for spouses will begin in 2022 and could deduct up to $2,400 yearly from the employee's paycheck. The fee is only for domestic partners or spouses, not other dependents such as children who are covered by the employee's health insurance and are eligible for the shot, according to the letter Ochsner leaders sent to employees. Thomas said the surcharge isn't a mandate because spouses and partners can choose other insurance coverage and because they can also apply for a medical or religious exemption. Meanwhile, Louisiana is trying to encourage more people to get the shot by offering them a cash incentive. Governor John Bell Edwards announced on Friday that Louisiana's Shot for 100 program, which has been offering $100 cash cards to college students who get the shot, is expanding to offer the money to anyone who is newly immunized. Those who are interested can get more information there. If you're not able, or if you haven't been able to get your sleeves up yet, we're hoping a cool 100 will make the decision easier, the Democratic governor's statement said. More than 2.1 million people in Louisiana are fully shotted, about 45% of the state's population, according to the health department data. And now they're trying to bribe them.
Well, there's lotteries that you can get into and win millions of dollars if you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And what happens when, the bribes and the lotteries and stuff don't work anymore?
yeah, then it becomes the mandates, which we're already seeing with Biden being like, our patience is running thin. I'm like, okay then.
Mm-hmm.
We have to protect the unshotted, or the shotted versus the unshotted. I'm like, okay then. That makes sense.
Okay then, whatever. I'm out of stories early. There wasn't really much that had caught my attention, and these were the B squad.
So who all we have in here? We have Gerald, we have Bikes and Bullets. Who else? Anybody else?
Nobody else has said anything. I know that Broken Patriot was in earlier, so I would assume he found his way over.
Right on. What's up, Broken Patriot? How you doing? Guns Coast Coast not here yet. Or at all.
And I'm not sure who the other person is that's watching, but unless it's my phone. Yep, that's it.
Might be.
Anyways.
Well, I appreciate everybody who joined us. That's really cool. Thank you very much for that. Sorry I couldn't be there, but at the same time,
You
real
got my
life comes
lovely
up.
face.
Yeah, well, I don't see you because I'm on Discord,
Right.
but I'll see you later tonight.
Our governor's shot deadline was today, but they aren't going to enforce it till at least the end of this month, says Gerald. And Zudak said he's lurking. Hi there, Zudak.
Hey, Zudak, how you doing? Appreciate you.
Oh, it's certainly nice to be able to see you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say to everybody, don't forget, Riddle's going to be doing the Patriot Bible Chat tomorrow, and it's going to be her testimony, which is really powerful. I would definitely suggest it's a must watch.
Yeah, if you've got time, come on over. I'm going to be doing it at 6 p.m. Arizona time.
Yeah. 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern.
Yep. So if you're interested, please do come and join me for that. I think that Stringer will probably be watching, I would assume. But yeah. Other than that, I really don't have anything else unless you guys do. So I'll give you a little bit of time. In the meantime, while I'm waiting on y'all, we do have some descriptions down below, some causes that we believe in and support. One of them that's particularly close to Stinger's heart is the PAH Association. The PAH Association is one of the few places that are still trying to continue therapeutic study to try to fix PAH. And there is another place that I would have you consider donating to if costly medications are something that you believe in and support. It's called the Care Fund, thecarefund.org, And this place is the one that actually helps us with Stinger's very expensive medications. They provide patients a grant that makes their copay $10 or less.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I can be able to afford those medications without it.
Mm-hmm. So the Care Fund is a good one. We also have Project Recover.org. We have Irish USMC Vets, Rally Point Irish. That one gets 50% of all proceeds that come into this channel. This channel is fully demonetized, but if you should decide to make a donation by one of the ways provided below, your donation, half of it will be going to Rally Point Irish. Well, if they try to enforce it, they will need lots of medical staff to cover the 20% of unshotted medical workers. You got that right. Oh, nice glasses.
Thank you. Yeah. Stylish, right?
Yeah, I like it.
What was it, CSI Miami?
Yeah. He's getting compliments on his hair, getting hit on by waitresses and crap.
Yeah. First time ever, we were getting dinner. The waitress was like, "How do you get your hair to do that?" I'm like, "I don't know, just I do that with some product." She's like, "Can I touch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can." So she got a big tip. You don't have to worry though. I mean, I'm not interested in the waitress.
Yeah.
There's only
Alrighty.
one person I'm interested in.
Aw.
But just to update everybody, the trip went well. The first day was all bunch of rain. I was streaming on Discord for the first day, but didn't get much, and of course my connection wasn't that great. So I decided to just listen to the radio and have the GPS working because it didn't work I mean it worked, but it didn't talk to me. Right? So I just decided to listen to the radio and the GPS for the rest of the time. But if you guys are interested in that, let us know, either in the Discord or in the chat right now. And when I head out of here and go other places, to see Irish, I could do it then too. But I really appreciate everybody's well wishes and especially everybody who came to tonight's stream. Thank you very much for that. Don't forget tomorrow night stream with Riddle Girl as well. It was a long trip. I'm glad to be done with that portion of it because that was the hardest part of the trip. It was because the bed of the truck was filled with all this stuff, and I was getting rained on, and some of her stuff did get wet. We're going through it right now, and luckily so far, the only things that got damaged are the things that she didn't really care about. So hopefully that continues. But yeah, it's been a eventful trip. Let's just put it that way.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm real glad that
But
we still get to see your smiling face thanks to technology.
yeah, and I will be taking video, and I'll do something with it when I get home, and you'll all be able to see some of the highlights here and there. So far, I haven't taken any video just because it was a long drive, and there wasn't really much to see. Although there was a couple of interesting things here and there. I saw an overturned semi trailer. I when I got to my daughter's place, there was a black individual getting arrested by the cops that had all their guns drawn. There was a ton of cops. He was backing up and getting down on his knees with his hands up, and in order to get by it, they didn't close off the road. So it's an active situation, and I'm driving right in front of him with all their firearms pointed at him and me. I'm like, oh my God. A little sketchy.
Yeah, and she's all like, "Oh yeah, I live in a great safe place."
Yeah.
Oh boy. I'm sure that left a lasting impression on you.
Sorry,
Alrighty, everybody. I said that that'll probably leave a lasting impression on you, but thank you everybody for joining. Keep your family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in this messed up world that we find ourselves living in. Live free. And we'll see
Yeah.
you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you.